First of all, an important reminder. Our client is running out of time to postpone or reschedule their event. Once they're within 120 days of the event day, postponing or canceling no longer will be possible. Please make sure the client understands this. Next, the tasting by now should have been completed and the final menu selected. If that hasn't been done, please ask the client to schedule their tasting now. Please don't allow the client to put this off. Tastings must be scheduled no later than 45 days before the event, and really that's too late. Tasting dates and times are very limited, and tastings are not offered in December. The tastings should be scheduled inside the Bell Tower Customer Hub. If you are having any problems using the hub, please contact the event producer or our customer service department. We can guide you through the process or help you get logged in, and usually the client has no problems at all scheduling their tasting. In addition, please remind the client that we'll need to review their invitation and menu card before they're printed to make sure the details line up, like start times and menu items, and making sure they don't conflict with the contract. This is also the time to follow up with the client and the Bell Tower event producer to make sure their final details meeting is on the books. If they need to change the date of the final details meeting, now is the time to do so. Because this meeting is so important, we've prepared a separate video on this topic, how to hold a final details meeting, that you can find in the resources section. The video includes a helpful questionnaire that the client might want to use to organize information that the venue will likely need to know about. As I've mentioned, the final details meeting is not a time for decision making. It's a time for confirming decisions the client has already made and developing a strategy for incorporating those decisions into an excellent event. Before the final details meeting, we'll need three things: the client's timeline, floor plan, and menu. Those three items are crucial, and the client should not wait until the last minute to submit them to us, or we'll work with you to help create those, but it needs to be before the final details meeting. I know what crosses people's minds around this time. We don't have a final head count. We're not ready to submit a floor plan. What I would say to that is minor adjustments can be made up to 2 weeks in advance. It's much better to give us the floor plan now along with the menu and the timeline so event preparations can move forward smoothly. Within a few weeks of the event, the chef is already ordering food in specific quantities, and we're scheduling equipment and staff. So as you talk with the client, discuss the concept of estimating a preliminary guest count. Our tried and true formula for doing this is to estimate that 70% of those invited will attend an event. It's not 100% accurate, but after delivering thousands of events, we found it's pretty close. Estimating a preliminary count is especially helpful for timeline planning. It will also make it possible for the client to complete the necessary orders for preset salads, favors, and chargers. Ordering those items is especially important if the client will be asking for more chairs than guests. Even though we can't formally guarantee rehearsal dates and times until 2 weeks before the event, it's helpful to set a tentative rehearsal date to serve as a placeholder until such time comes that the venue can ultimately and formally confirm the rehearsal. And here's an especially important piece of information for the client. Their 90-day payment is coming up. At that point, we'll require no less than half of their balance. The remaining balance will be due 30 days before the event. Online payments can be made from the Bell Tower on 34th Customer Hub. As always, if you or the client are having any difficulties using the hub, don't hesitate to ask the event producer or our customer service department for help. For those of you planning a non-bridal event, if an invoice is required for your company to make a payment, please don't wait for us to send one. Please contact your event producer immediately. Meanwhile, the client should be continuing the process of researching and selecting vendors. Please remember that those vendor selections need to be entered into the Bell Tower Customer Hub in the vendor selection area. This simple step dramatically enhances our ability to deliver an excellent event. For one thing, it allows us to maintain ongoing communication with vendors. While we have put together some information that you or the client can share with their vendors, including the link to our load-in and setup policies in our resources section, we still need to be able to reach vendors with additional details. We send them messages about parking, arrival time, insurance requirements, and other specifics about working with us. Plus, it's always a good idea for the venue to have the vendor's contact information. If there are any difficulties entering vendors into the Customer Hub, we need to know right away. During the vendor research process, we encourage guest planners to tell the client about our upgrades program, which unfortunately is one of the most overlooked services we offer. Clients can save time and money by using items we offer at the Bell Tower on 34th, including our photo booth, column lighting, microphones, candles, chargers, lanterns, and many other items, even a baby grand piano. In most cases, our upgrades are priced well below going market prices. You can find a link to a complete list of upgrade options in our resources section, or go directly to thebelltower34th.com/upgrades. Okay, now let's talk about our beverage policy. Please keep in mind that Texas law prohibits outside alcohol in our venue. That law is strictly enforced here. This doesn't mean the client can't have alcohol at their event. We have bar packages, and if the client needs something special, such as a special bottle of scotch, tell the event producer. But the law requires that all alcohol at an event is provided and served by the venue. That includes favors, giveaways, and auction items like a wine bottle. There is only one exception. Nonprofit organizations holding a fundraiser can get a permit to auction wine. They have to submit the required application and fee to the Texas Alcoholic Beverages Commission at least 30 days before their event. We do not submit application on clients' behalf, but we do provide the application in our resources section.